How do you like my shirt? So, I just got this today. It was a Christmas present from my friend who's also represented on the shirt. Right, where is it?
Somewhere. One spot.
Right near my heart. And I was like, you're here. I have a big heart. Squirrel!
Yes.
I bought a shirt that I was like, oh, I'm gonna wear this on Sunday. And then he pulls this out this morning. I was like, hey shirt, you just got demoted.
I wasn't looking for a Christmas present for Jared. And then that shirt just goes over here. Oh, he's getting that for sure.
Hi guys. Thank you for coming.
Born in Nashville.
Yeah. What up, Nash Vegas? Any first timers? Nobody? Welcome. What do y'all think? How do you like the supernatural family? I'll clap for that. Yeah, this is the last time we obviously, a lot of y'all know, but we didn't get to see you guys for a year and a half. From March of 2020, so
It was so long.
it's a long time. It's a long time. So it's been revitalizing to the soul to, we missed you guys, wherever you are. You missed you.
Is that Gil's tree?
Yes.
I don't understand. What's this tree? I don't want to know. Really? How did I miss this?
Apparently the tree attacked Gil.
Yes,
Oh, is that what happened?
No, not at all.
No. He violated it.
It's so sad, it's like weeping.
Yeah, prior to Gil meeting, all of a sudden, just were up.
I don't like this life. Amazing. I hope you hear the story.
Yeah, apparently the tree needs a shower now.
He'll go, the branch will go back out. Surfboard shower.
Anyway, how was the concert last night?
Yeah, it was rude.
Jeez, hecklers. Okay. This is a good stage.
Well, let's see if anybody had any questions. That's fascinating. You're always fascinating. Hi.
You guys, thank you so much for being here. You bring us so much joy. I was wondering, what's something that's brought you joy recently?
That taught us joy?
That brought us joy
Right.
recently.
God, I mean a lot of things. I mean it. Like I'm overwhelmed with love and support. What brought me joy recently? I think that this is just off the top of my head, but I had a conversation with Jen the other day, and we were playing with the kids, and Odette, for whatever reason, like dotes on her daddy. So Jen's up all day long, taking care of them, taking them to school, feeding them, wiping their butts. Well, our sons wipe their own butts. Sometimes Odette still says she needs help, but she's holding her, she's whatever. And then I walk in the door, and Jen's like slaved away, making them dinner and stuff. And Odette's like, Daddy! She runs out, she wants to sit with me and cuddle. And then we put him to bed, and I was like, hey, I love all of our kids equally, but Odette's my favorite. I think having well, legit, I love all my kids, obviously. But baby girl has been now living at home again. She and I got really close.
Aww.
Told you those girls.
It's like, hey, I know you love Tom and Shep, but
Just you wait.
Oh, where's
Joy. I'm literally sitting here just going like, God, I have no joy in my life. just wrecking my brain. That's right. Aside from this right here, this does bring me joy. I had not, for a variety of reasons, I had not seen my parents in almost 2 years.
Wow.
And I finally said, that's it, no excuses, and I drove to Dallas to see them last weekend. And that was a joyous weekend for me. Yeah, don't go that long without seeing the people you love. It's not cool. Look at it right here. There you go.
Yeah, can you tone it down a little bit? My ears hurt.
Okay, so Jared, I love you, really do, but
I picked you. Oh, you're getting to the point. Oh, she's getting to the good part.
So that just brought him joy.
Alright, so Jensen, I think I can speak for everyone in this room that we all love and want to hear you sing more. So my question is, will there be a radio company concert in the future? Or we'll be hearing you sing more at conventions because we all really miss you last night.
Oh, well.
Well,
Well, thank you. And I don't know, to be honest. I wouldn't say that, no, that's never gonna happen. But Steve and I talked about doing some sort of a small tour thing. And that's, that's still being kicked around, that idea. What that looks like, I don't know, but when I do, you will know.
There's someone way in the back, right near the mic. Yes, you, looking around. Yes, gray mask. Those are the right spots.
That brings me joy.
Your hands up.
Sorry. That's kind of what you did.
I wrote my question down.
Say again, sorry?
I wrote my question down so I don't just like
You wrote it down,
for
okay.
5 minutes. I'm curious what you do with like all the fan mail and like letters and food and just like stuff that you're always being sent. Because like you guys have lives, but like I feel like you just have like
You don't say.
piles of just like crap, just like in the story.
It's not crap. Well, we share a storage unit.
They probably do.
Actually.
We legitimately have multiple storage units, and a lot of them are packed with stuff that's from. I mean,
And I have some of my uncles.
I went and looked at that unit the other day, and there's like 2 boxes of stuff that I brought home from Vancouver, and a lot of it was. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I pretty much like raided the wardrobe and props department. But along with that, there was also a lot of stuff that, like you said, that it just kind of accumulated that we don't want to throw away, we don't want to get rid of, but it's like, we just kind of hang on to it, because at a certain point we'll go back through it, and it'll bring us all that joy that
For the most
we
part,
love to have.
for the most part, I try and treat a lot of that as if it's a conversation. Like you don't, except for some really large conversations, you have this conversation and then you leave it behind, and it becomes a party. So a lot of that is a similar situation to us talking right now. Like you're not gonna think about it or whatever.
Oh, yes, you will.
But then there are some things that remind me of the larger picture. I have an office in my home in Austin. I have my own office because Jen doesn't want my shit everywhere. She's like, you take that. And I'm like, you sure? She's like, yes. it's yours. All your stuff can go right in there. And on my desk in my office that my wife got me as our wedding present, she had a desk made for me. And I have the little tea light from Comic-Con and the note that Holly always wrote explaining what it was, because I think it probably was what it is. But I have a lot of stuff like that that reminds me of what we all should do. Yeah. Thank you for your question.
Good talk.
Okay, I'll explain later. Sorry.
When we go have another afternoon in the storage unit together, we'll do
This is one of those things that I should have told him a year ago, and I forgot. But he just reminded me, and I was like, oh, I better tell him now, because otherwise they'll forget. Jesus.
Oh, did you turn the toaster off? What did you do? The toaster's on. Oh, coffee maker. Crap. Yes. I got it!
Otherwise, it's going to be another year.
Probably.
And then like in 2030,
Sorry, this is.
what it's up yet.
Yeah.
Popped into my head, Jared, when you opened the shirt for Christmas gift, were you hesitant at all because of all the bears on the shirt? And Jensen, did you pick it out because of the bears on the shirt?
Well, to tell you a little bit,
He literally goes, I'm so excited, but I'm a little scared of this shirt. Just a minute ago when he put it on, and when I saw it, I was like literally the moose jumped out. I was like, oh, well, Jared's got it. Oh, there's a bear here. Perfect.
and to answer
It's like, hey, friend.
So to answer your question as asked, when I opened the shirt, let me tell you a little something about Jensen and Jared and about a lot of guys. This is the way the present is given between guys.
Yep, that's true.
There's no opening.
Here. Yeah.
It's like, oh, by the way,
Just fold it in my suitcase, right? Hey, I got you a present. There's no bows, there's no unwrapping, there's no tissue paper, nothing. Just a folded shirt. It could have been mine. It was sitting on top of another one of my folded shirts. And instead it just went flying across the room at him, hit him in the chest, and I'm like, I got you, son. Check it out, there's a moose on it. And a bear.
And our excuses, listen, we care about saving the planet. We don't want
Yes.
but yeah, I do love it. The bears do scare me, but I appreciate that. Right there, right now.
Hi, I actually have a question about a scene from the show from a few years back, and thank you for 15 years of absolute magic. But my question was, in the scene at the end of Brothers Keeper, the season 10 finale, where Dean kills Beth.
He kills Jack.
Beth.
Death.
It's the scene where Sam was going to kill Sam.
With the scythe.
And at the very last second, he pulls up and
Yep.
just swings around. Two things about that was, did Dean consciously make that decision to, like, not do this, or was it just instinct? He just couldn't kill his brother?
It was probably the former. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was Dean able to, like, a last-ditch effort, convince himself that he couldn't do it. So I don't think it was necessarily like, the force wouldn't let me. I think it was something deep within that was like one kind of final Hail Mary from Dean.
It's kind of funny. Now I never thought about it, but it's kind of funny that that's in season 10, and then in season 5 was almost similar with Sam overcoming Lucifer.
It was an amazingly powerful scene.
Yeah, it was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember filming it.
Mm-hmm.
That was tough.
That was a tough one.
I feel like I say that about every episode.
I know.
Like, how do we do that? How are we not all just decrepit?
All right. Let's go over here. How about second row? Right there, stand up, Dave. Perfect.
Hi, thanks. Hi, my name's Susan, and I actually flew in from Arizona for that stuff.
Oh, well, so we better make it worth my while. Jensen,
That was the subset.
Jerry, that is your name.
The cold part's getting me. So I appreciate and I'm grateful for how openly affectionate you all are with the cast and crew. I am a widow with one son and have no close, healthy male role models for him. So I looked for chances to show him men being openly affectionate as you all are, which I hope is not fake. So, were you brought up this way, or is it being around the people as an adult who allowed you to be comfortable showing your affection? And how are you ensuring your children are brought up this way?
Great question. I'm sorry for your loss. How old is your son?
He's now 18.
Wow.
Yes. We lost his dad when he was 3.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. And it's tough.
Sure. I guess, like, question. I was not brought up with, like, the sort of affection between friends. And I grew up in Texas and played sports and fought and wrestled. And we rode around on bikes and threw rocks at trains. Like slingshots, squirrels. That's my Christmas present to Jensen.
That's where I want to unpack that.
I haven't had time to think about that. But I had a pretty classic upbringing. My mother was and still is very, very affectionate. I love you, this and that. And my dad grew up with 2 older brothers. Both his parents served in the Air Force in World War II. His dad was a POW. He's a tough guy. And he showed affection in a different way. The whole, and now these days, it's like, I love you. And I realize now, in hindsight, like, that was his way of trying to make sure that I didn't have to go through whatever he went through. My mom as well, in her own very loving way. But I don't know when it really happened, but
I feel like when we were growing up, the older generation of parenting was a little more tough love.
Yeah, it's probably what they learned from their parents getting out of the war.
Yeah,
We don't want that.
my father wasn't.
Here, forget about
He wasn't a gruff, hard, over disciplinarian kind of a dad. He was very loving and not necessarily in a physical way, but he certainly let me. Every time he would punish me, which was with a belt, he would before he would spank me, he would say, "I'm doing this because I love you, and I want you to learn not to do this." I don't spank my children. I have that conversation with them, and then I try. If that doesn't work, then I try to think of something. Maybe I take a toy away. Maybe something. But I've chosen not to continue that tradition. But not to say that I very much respect how my father handled me as a boy, growing young man. I do feel like it is more acceptable in today's culture to be an affectionate father and an affectionate man. I feel like some of that toxic masculinity has started to fade away a little bit, and so I would just simply suggest to teach your son that it is okay to love, and it is okay to show affection as a man. And I played a character for 15 years who, in my opinion, was able to show affection and was able to hug and cry with his brother and with people that he loved. And that I think is not something that the old guard necessarily would allow to happen. not because they couldn't or wouldn't, but just it wasn't quite as acceptable as it is today. And so I would just encourage you to tell your son that it's okay to be emotional. It's okay. Men do cry. Men do get hurt. Men do love. Men do show affection, and those are the ones, in my opinion, that are going to be more well-rounded and live a happier life.
Yeah. And I was thinking, when he was it made me think something. It's really about being available. Like I think, thinking about the generation that his parents grew up in and that my parents grew up in, you were taught to kind of put up all these facades, all these walls, so that someone couldn't get in and hurt you, And literally in the 40s, we were scared of getting in and hurting us. Again, as we continue more. But being available, but to a point, listen to, and I'm not saying you, but I'm saying like if I could give somebody what I try to do, I try to listen. And if I get the sense that they're out to hurt me, then I put my wall up. And I think I try and do that with my characters and my kids as well. Like we're always there to listen to them. And that's our way, and I love them and scratch your back and this and that. But if they're having a bad day and you know it, then it's like, hey, I'm available. And sometimes my son the other day, so my son's got in a fight the other day, not a fight, they were wrestling, it was like 8:30, like we gotta get to bed, it was a school night. And then they went to Tom's room and they kept wrestling, and I guess Tom bonked his head on something and started crying. And so I go upstairs, and it's very obvious that they continue to wrestle, even though we were gonna go up, we were like doing the dishes or something, and we were gonna go up and tuck them. And so I was like, Shep, get to your room, and Jen was up at that time, and she kind of took over Tom, like, what's going on? And I went into Shep's room, he was down in his bed, and I was like, Shep, what happened? He said, I don't know. I was like, I told you to stop wrestling. You keep wrestling? And he looked at me, and he's only set, he'll be 8 in a couple weeks, and he was like, yeah, we were wrestling. And it took me by surprise. I was like, wow. And we told them, like, if you're gonna do things and we might have to correct you or punish you, but if you do those things and lie about it, it's gonna be a lot worse. So he took that. I was like, that's really impressive. But saying, like, listen, it's my job to correct you and make sure, as best I can, I'm steering you towards a healthy, happy life. There are gonna be times where, as the adult, I'm gonna have to correct you. But if you lie to me, that's all out the window. You're sleeping in the pool.
If there's a show you should have your son watch. It's about two brothers, and they're strong men. They're masculine. They act tough, but they also show each other love, and they show love to other people. And I think that it's probably a good example for him. You also watch The Boys? Not so probably not a good suggestion in teachable moments, but entertaining.
I'll stay over on this side, the wiggly fingers.
Technical term?
Yeah.
I think they're called jazz hands.
My brother's a doctor. It's wiggly fingers. Oh, right there, yes. My fingers are still wiggling. Don't drop that camera.
So, my favorite line from, oh my God, I'm keeping it somewhere.
You might want to put your camera on the ground. Your fingers are still wiggling. You're still holding it back.
My favorite line from the entire series is a Dean quote, and it is at the beginning or the.
So when you said at the beginning, or what were you thinking?
It was a pretty powerful line.
So it's at the end of season 3 episode, and it's where Sam is trying to help Dean get out of his demon deal that he made.
Yeah.
And it's where Dean says, Sam, I'm tired. He's basically looking as a light at the end of the tunnel. And it just makes me,
It's all right, take your time.
You got this.
We're not going anywhere. when Dean looked at Sam, and Sam's doing everything he can to get.
I think it's when you finally admitted that, okay, I think.
Right, and Dean is like, I'm tired, like I'm done. What was the rest of that line? Do you remember?
And you say, let's go raise some hell or let's go kill some evil sons of bitches and raise a little hell. That is my favorite line of the whole series. So my question is, what is your favorite line from this series?
Well, you definitely picked a good one, and they gave us some pretty good lines throughout 15 years. Our writers were were pretty magnificent in that regard. Favorite lines? Gosh, I mean, saving people hunting things. That one was. We were just talking about that one yesterday, and how that kind of really set the course for the whole show. But man, I don't know. Is there anyone that jumps out to you?
What's a Padalecki?
Oh yeah.
That's a Kareka. Low sodium freaks don't have song. For some reason, I don't remember the exact line, but it was in.
Do these tacos taste funny to you?
That's my favorite line. There was a scene. It was one of the initial scenes. I think Gordon was trying to kill me, and we were buckling down in a motel room, and the mattresses and box springs up against the door so that he couldn't get in or smell me. Some heartbeat. And there was some Commander Strike that I forget the episode it was called. But Sam says something to Dean along the lines of like, because you're my brother or something. And that to me, I think I realized when I was shooting this scene. I remember shooting it vividly. But that kind of encapsulated what the show meant to me at that time, and what, because we were teasing with a buddy yesterday about all these shows that were kind of science fiction or supernatural or whatever related that started, and how we outlasted all of it. And I was like, well, we were never really a show about supernatural. We were a show about relationships. We were a show about caring for each other and sacrifice. It wasn't about like who has the coolest visual effective zombie or vampire or werewolf or just running around shirtless or something. It was like, no, this is about how they care for each other, going back to the prior question. So that line, that scene, I know Sterling came around was in the episode. He was trying to kill me by that point in time. Yeah.
When Bobby said to Dean, "What are you going to do now?" And Dean looks at him and says, "I think I'll take a drive."
Thank you for your question. You braved right through that.
All right. Yeah, far back there.
That's Cliff.
My sister, she lives in Ohio, she's here tonight, today.
You mind doing that again? It's just.
My sister lives in Ohio, she couldn't be here. Could I get a shout out for her?
What's her name?
Haley.
Hey, Haley, we miss you.
Haley.
Aww.
Hey, Haley.
Thank you.
That's it? All right, I think we got, time for one more quick one. Go ahead. Come on. Tick-tock.
Gail.
Yes!
Thanks, guys. I'll see you.
Okay, so at the very last episode, we see that Dean kept Miracle, but I'm assuming he had an owner when before Jack brought everyone back. So did Dean actually just kidnap the dog?
Dean's a dog stealer.
Yeah, in my mind, there was a conversation had. Sam comes in and goes, we should really find the owner of that dog. And I believe Dean's reaction would have been something like, snooze, you lose.
You shut your mouth.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. This dog is mine.
Awesome. Thank y'all for coming. We're gonna have a great day today.